Hello, hi everyone, it's Esther here, and yeah, so we are back. Samuel and I usually come on Saturday to talk to you about values and character development. How was your week? For those in the UK, you're excited about the longer weekend because we have a bank holiday on Monday, so those are 3 extra days to rest. Enjoy your family and relax, do things that you don't usually have time to do. How are you? Hello, June. Morning. How was your week? So friends, thank you for joining us, and it's Esther here. Today's value that we'll be discussing is security. Security. Okay. What is security? This is something we don't usually use. I think more people are more used to the word insecure, which is the opposite than security itself. I would like to know what you understand by that word. What is security? What does it mean? And how can we develop it or strengthen it in our lives so that we don't lose our confidence and our self-esteem? That's the context that we are looking at this word, not the security of the guards and the army or protecting. No, in this case we are talking about the opposite of insecurity. Okay, so let's start. So I looked up security. There's this website. If you're interested, you can look it up. It's called characterfirst.com. It has interesting definitions of different values, and I like their simple definitions. Maybe because they work with schools, so they make it simple to understand, and I usually adapt their definitions. So security is structuring one's life around that which cannot be destroyed or taken away. Security is structuring one's life around that which cannot be destroyed or taken away. So that is security. I'll repeat the definition. I'm sorry I cannot type notes, otherwise maybe I'll write the notes later. Yeah, because I'll be distracted. But let me repeat the definition. Security is structuring one's life around that which cannot be destroyed or taken away. I hope my volume is okay. Please let me know if it's not. Okay. So according to that security, to that definition, I pick up things, structuring one's life around that which cannot be destroyed or taken away. So now I think of those things that I could have easily depended on. And, oh, thank you, June, for telling me the volume is all right. So then I look at human beings. So if I structure my life around human beings, which means that I can't do anything without someone approving of me, or I need to please people so that they remain my friends, they like me, then that, according to this definition, that may disappoint me, because human beings fail, first of all, because we are all not perfect, and then we die or we become weak. So if I structure my life around something that, like human beings, that can be destroyed or taken away, human beings can be taken away. So that means that I'm at risk of being insecure all my life. That's one example. So we can deduce from this definition that we cannot structure our lives around human beings. Another thing is our bodies. Some people put so much trust in their looks, the way they look. We thank God that, if God gave you a nice figure or you look perfect, then you can be distracted by it and say, okay, so this is my asset, I have to maintain it or what. But guess what? Even the bodies can be destroyed or taken away. Yeah, we become weak when we fall sick. Our looks change when we become older. Yeah, you can guess, those who know me when I was, 30 years ago. I'm not looking the same, am I? Yeah, so our looks, our bodies become weak, they change. Our abilities change. When you're youth, you have a lot of energy. When you get older, that energy reduces. Yes, you can maintain it with exercise and all that, but you know what? You can't beat the cycle of life. A time comes at 65 and above when you can't do things that you used to do. So that means that structuring our lives around looks, our structure, our looks, our bodies, can also fail us. Okay, those who are joining us, security is structuring one's life around that which cannot be destroyed or taken away. So we've seen that human beings are not dependable. Our looks, our bodies cannot be depended upon. And then, yeah, even one thing I left out is that even our looks can change, our abilities can change, because there are random occurrences in life that can happen. For example, accidents or, sickness that can, like a stroke. Or I'm not saying these things should happen, but I'm just opening your eyes to realize that most of the things we structure our lives and we are secure in actually end up failing us, and we shouldn't be surprised by this if we understand the definition of security. Possessions can be destroyed, so don't structure your life around what you have. Things can be destroyed, they can be stolen, they can lose value. Money can be stolen, jobs can be lost. So now, looking at all these examples and the structure, what else is left? What else can we structure our lives around? So I'm going to pose a question here before we discuss. Hello, Pastor Ian. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. So I'm going to pose a question here that I want us all to answer. Please type your questions. So the question is, what is that thing that cannot be destroyed or taken away? Have a think. Have a think. Think about it and give me your answer during this discussion or at the end. Okay? So now let's look at insecurity, which is the opposite of security. So this is the word we are more familiar with. I don't know why as human beings we tend to focus on the negative and not the positive, naturally. Because the first word you hear is insecurity, not security. Anyway, let's move on. So the opposite of security is insecurity, and it's defined as the uncertainty or lack of confidence in oneself. So that means you keep your confidence in your friends, you keep your confidence in your looks, in your achievement, in your possession. That's what defines you. And we have all dealt with insecurities in one way or the other, because as human beings, guess what? We all fail. We all reach a point whereby we're depending on something else. But then it's good to always, wake up, realize where you've fallen, and then, correct yourself. Okay, before it becomes an addiction. So we've all dealt with insecurity at one time or the other in our life. So when we are not completely comfortable with something about us, or we are not accepting ourselves the way we are, that is insecurity right there. Here an example. I like comedy, and there's this English actor. He's called John English. He does lots of movies, it's so funny. So one day I analyzed his looks. He's so talented, he's so gifted, in the way he acts. He makes people laugh. You can't be around him and not laugh. Even just looking at him, his face, really, you just laugh without him doing anything. Why? Because his eyes are funny, his nose is funny, his ears are funny. You just Google in John English and look at the images, you'll laugh. Okay, so he has a funny face, and I looked at him and said, what, this guy, instead of complaining, oh, my nose is not normal, my ears are funny, I can't do anything, he just uses what he has to entertain people, to make a living, to to define who he is, and now he's famous. So that's a good example that not everything we have, each one of us, our looks, our abilities, they are unique, and they are the very things that are supposed to make us admirable. Let me say that. But most of the times we look at ourselves and we demean ourselves. Oh, I don't like my nose. Oh, I don't like this. Maybe I should go for plastic surgery. I don't like the way I look. I don't like. And yet, there's beauty in each and everything that you have. It's an asset. Another example I looked at is a story of a lady. She's called Fatima Timbo. She lives in Kent, here in UK. And she was born with a condition which is called, sorry, I'm looking at my notes, which is called achondroplasia. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it well. Achondroplasia. So it's like a form of dwarfism. She's sort of smaller than the average size of human beings. So, but she's a model, and I was watching her video on YouTube. Oh my God, this lady, she's more confident than I am. She has grown, she has developed herself to accept who she is and to not let obstacles limit her. She's a model, modeling, you know, clothes and all that. And when you look, she has this beautiful smile. And through what she does as a model, she's a source of inspiration to so many other people out there, especially those with physical disabilities. And I have a quote here. She said something that really touched me. In that video, she said, I think I'll leave a link of that video on and after this broadcast for you to check it out. You cannot change what people do or think that is about you, okay? But you can always change yourself. Wow, that was a bold statement for her. And yeah, she really inspired me. She was a good example of what I wanted to talk about today. She overcame her insecurities. Yes, I'm not like anyone else. I can't do things like anyone else, but there's something I can do. You know, there's something I was born for. There's something I can bring, something good I can bring out of my life. And yeah, so she didn't look at the insecurities of her looks, her body and all that. No, I think she's basing her, structuring her life around something much bigger than her, much higher than her. Let me read June's comment. I think one is secure when their lives evolve around passion and purpose. Yes, because you are the one who sets the pace and the standard. True. And not anyone else. Okay. Sorry, the network was poor. I hope it's back now. Okay, let's move on with our discussion. So briefly, let's highlight what makes us insecure. What causes this? What is the root cause of insecurity? I won't dwell so much on this because we want to see how we can overcome it, but just sometimes looking at a root can help you understand where you're coming from, and then help you really understand your history and how you can really overcome it. So I have a few points here. I just said one is childhood events and different challenges that, you know, and different events that challenge your confidence. Yeah, as a child, maybe you went to school and, you know, just a schoolmate just commented, oh, I don't like your eyes, you know, something's wrong with your eyes. And then that statement stuck with you, and 20 years later, it's still ringing there. Why should it stay there after 20 years? So sometimes this insecurity is really self-inflicted. We really allow it by allowing those thoughts and those negative comments to really run our lives. We reach a point whereby, you know what, who is that one talking to me? And she doesn't matter. She doesn't know who I am, so I'll drop it there. And, you know, you close the chapter for that and you move on. Okay, so we shouldn't dwell on the past. And then sometimes we have internal criticism. You are yourself. You're always criticizing yourself. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm inadequate. Why can't I be like someone else? those voices, they're not good for us, they're not healthy. We need to silence them by replacing them with more positive thoughts. Okay, and then external forces by other people, your workplace, maybe your boss is always criticizing your work, or your colleagues are always seem to always be performing and commenting negatively, such negative things. So we need to structure our lives not around people and what they say, as we've mentioned earlier, that human beings, they're not dependable. I mean, they can be destroyed or taken away. Jobs can be destroyed or taken away, but we need to structure our lives around something much bigger than us. And as June has mentioned, purpose and passion is key. Hello, Peter. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Another cause of insecurity can be your environment. What is the culture there? What are the beliefs there? What is ringing around you? What's expectations, societal expectations? And excuse me, and if you don't meet those expectations, then that becomes a stigma, that becomes a source of insecurity. So those are the root causes that I could find and think about, that I think are the root causes of us feeling insecure. But now we know that insecurity is not good for us. Guess what? It ruins lives, because worrying about things that you cannot change, things that you are inadequate about, what is it going to add to you? Why don't you focus on the things that you can do? Okay. And then it prevents people from being truly themselves, from being who they really are, because people will be acting. Okay, so now I'm not good enough, I'm not, like a model, I'm not. So you end up, starving yourself maybe, or doing things just to look like someone else, and that sort of puts the real you in the shadow of this someone else who is actually also trying to be like someone else. So you're losing yourself. Insecurity is dangerous, and that is why we need to constantly fight it out of our lives in every area, and then it spoils relationships. For example, if there's a couple and one of them is insecure, each time you're talking to another person, they suspect something. Each time you're coming back late, they think you've been somewhere. And if you look at the root cause of all those feelings, first of all, ask yourself, why am I thinking this way? It's always good to ask yourself questions. Yeah, so it ruins relationships. It breeds mistrust, insecurity, suspicions, jealousy, and where all these negative traits are, a relationship can never be healthy. Be it a spouse, a husband and wife, just friends, or even family members. Once you allow suspicion, mistrust, jealousy, all these things spoil relationships, and they are all rooted in being insecure, losing your security. Okay, so how can we overcome it? Actually, there's only one way to overcome it, but I was thinking of all other areas that can relate with people's daily lives. So one area I looked at is you have to come to terms to the truth that life is not all about you. If you look back at the time when you are very insecure, or a person who is insecure, notice their language, and maybe notice your own thoughts, or notice your language. You always be saying, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, someone is better than me, oh, why can't I get that good job? Or so you realize that all those statements have a lot of I's, me's in them. So that is a sign that actually you're focusing on yourself. You think life is all about you. It's only you who matters. It's only you who has to win. It's only you who has to get the best, Think about it, all right? So life is not about you. Examine your thoughts very well. And if you notice a lot of I's and me's in your consciousness, in your thoughts, it's a sign of self-centeredness. It's good to... Recently, I wasn't very well, so I had an appointment at the hospital, and I actually realized that, oh, until you visit the hospital, it could be hospital or prison, or, you realize that life is not all about you. You see other people and how their life matters, what they're struggling with, and you even appreciate your health and life more. So I think it's a good practice to always visit these places that we don't usually visit, hospitals, prisons. It will maybe help you get out of your self-centeredness. You begin to feel sorry for other people. You begin to have passion for other people, to help other people. So in that way, you're moving away from yourself now. You're no longer self-centered, and now you're other-centered and looking at the needs of others. So that is so good. It helps you to become more secure in yourself. Okay, and then understand that we can never be good at everything. You can never be good at everything. I can never be good at everything. There will always be someone who is bigger or who's better than me in experience, in knowledge, in even in looks. Yeah. So there's always somebody. Yeah. Why? Because we all have uniquenesses. What they are good at, I may not be good at it, but I'm good in something else which they are not good at. So that is where our distinction should be. Each of us identifying our own niche, our own passion, our own, that area where we are good at it and developing it. And that is when we merge that self-confidence. That was when we get our self-esteem. Right. So we need to find that stage, that passion, that purpose, as June mentioned, and focus on it. So because it brings out our uniqueness, it brings out our passion. And then when we give it our best, that is when we shine. Someone out there who is watching you will say, oh, wow, look at her. She's very good at this. I can never do that. So when you bring out the best in you, actually, you're structuring your life around something like your passion and purpose, which is bigger than you, which is good. Okay. So we should find that area and become the best in it. Okay, because someone who is maybe a good doctor, you find that he may not be a good gardener, he may not be a good engineer, he may not be a good, other professions. Everyone has their uniqueness, and when we concentrate on that uniqueness, we become more, we boost our self-esteem, we become more confident in that area, and which spreads to all other areas in our lives. Okay, so then we need to accept the things that we cannot change and change those things that we can. Yeah, because there's Saint Francis of Assisi, an ancient monk, who gave that quote. I don't know whether each and every one of you remembers it. That Lord, help me to know the things I cannot change and to change the things that I can. I've forgotten the real words, but that was the sort of the format, the message, that we should not concentrate on things that we cannot change, but we can concentrate on things that we can change about ourselves. We need to adopt a positive mindset. Choose good quality thoughts to dwell on, to replace all the negative criticisms. And that's how I quoted something when I was putting a poster for this broadcast. Someone said that your mind will always believe everything you tell it. That's so true. So if you tell it the negative thoughts, guess what? Your insecurity will always increase. But if you choose the positive thoughts, then you're building your self-confidence and esteem. And she said that your mind will always believe everything you tell it. So feed it faith, feed it truth, feed it with love. That's so true. So faith, truth, and love, if you dwell around those values, you'll be far from insecurity. Okay, so stop dwelling on the past and have the courage to move forward. Set new goals. Discover new passions to focus your attention on. The best way of changing feelings of insecurity is to find something that makes you feel good about yourself. This is why I like this girl, Fatima. She found modeling, something she can do and feel good about herself. Okay, of course it was a long journey to confidence from insecurity, but you actually get there. So the only issue is to start on the journey. Let me read some of your comments. June was saying, great point. Remove focus from self. Yeah, I, me, myself. It's a sign of insecurity and self-centeredness. You got it. And then you said, June, that when you give yourself to better other people's lives, yeah, you'll start having a sense of security. Yeah, that's true. I think that's what happened to me. When you get away from self-centeredness and now you become other-focused, other-centered, you actually gain confidence and you begin to shine in that which you're good at. That is very true. And you begin to feel fulfilled. So June is talking about a real experience there. Hello, my husband Sammy is around now. Saying choose positive thoughts, feed your mind with faith, truth and love. Yes. Okay, so let's move on. And we should be open and honest about our insecurities. Open and honest. Sometimes we just live in denial. It's good to have a friend you can confide in. You know what, I'm insecure. You know, there's this place, someone at work, you know, she's always, you know, looking at me funny, maybe, you know, giving negative confidence. You know, open up. The more you open up, the more you realize there's a problem to deal with. But when you live in denial, then there's no problem to solve and you think you're all right and you move on like that and years go on. You lose life because you think everything is okay, yet you would have been better in that. You would have been a better person, a better you, a better version of you. So be open. Let us be open about our insecurity. It's good to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Do we always pause to ask questions? Not to other people, but to ourselves. It's good to always have a self-talk. Why do I feel this way really? Is it healthy? Why shouldn't she be the best? Why shouldn't she be better than me? It's good to ask questions. So be willing to discuss your problem, and then your mind will be put at rest, because guess what? Someone else has a solution that you're looking for. That's why I say that there's always someone ahead of us. There's always someone more experienced than us. But so when you open up and engage, someone may say something that can help you, and that's how we become better. We cannot become better all on our own. We always need to get some wisdom, some ideas from other people. That's why having a good, healthy social life is also key. Okay. And also, we need to develop an independent attitude. The more independent you are, the less risk of insecurity. Yes, because if you're depending on someone to feed you, to clothe you, to transport you, to give you your work, to look for your job, we say insecurity is when you structure your life around something that cannot be destroyed or taken away. So if we develop a level of independence, that is the beginning of security, because you're not depending on someone else for your success in life. You're not depending on someone else for, to make it, to be happy. Because once they are gone, then what happens to your life? Do you lose it? Do you go with them? Do you die with them? No. Life moves on. You have to move on. So an independent attitude is very important. Okay? So, all right. And then I also put a point here. Cut off or minimize your interaction with people who continuously make you feel inferior, inadequate, giving you negative comments. People who always focus on your weaknesses, they will not build you up, my friend. Yeah. So it's good to minimize or change interactions. Surround yourself with people that influence you positively, with people that are after your good, people that notice your strength and encourage them, encourage the strength in you. So that's a healthy environment to be in. Okay, so if you find yourself in a WhatsApp group, and since you joined the group, nothing has added to your life, you've gained nothing, you're learning nothing, I mean, and there's no one you're influencing, then maybe you should leave. I don't know. That just came as an example, that many times we trap ourselves in environments, and these environments are just wasting our time. They are not building us up. They are feeding our weakness, not our strength. And we should be keen and smart enough to identify these things, because they come so subtle and you may not even realize it. It could be close friends, it could be even family members, it could be, yeah. So you have to be smart enough to love yourself enough and say, you know what, I need more positivity around me. Okay. And then I put here a point that we should surround ourselves with people that are not blinded to the good in us. We should always look for avenues where we are celebrated and not tolerated. Then another point is celebrate and focus on your strength. Guess what? There's something good about you. It could be your height. It could be you're a loving person, you're a loyal friend, you know, you're a hardworking person, you're intellectual, you're a clean person, you have a great smile, you're an organized person, you are honest, etc. There is something good about you, and most times we don't even focus on these things. It's the negatives, the things we are bad at, or we can't change, the things where we cannot measure up. That's where we focus. We shouldn't do that. Focus on that thing that is good and that will help you build your self-esteem. You know what? I may not be having, all those possessions, but at least I'm a loving person. I'm a faithful friend, a loyal friend. I can be trusted. I'm punctual. Those are the things we should be dwelling on, thinking about, and that will help boost our self-esteem. And then stop judging others because you're not their creator. Because a self-centered person or someone who is insecure are very judgmental. Because first of all, they're judging themselves, and this spills over. Then you become a judge of other people. No. Check yourself. Stop judging other people, and above all, stop judging yourself, because you're not your own creator. Be kind to yourself. Then also, there's a need to seek professional help where it is needed, because some cases are really deep. So there are stories you hear of someone who cannot go out to work because of a very high level of insecurity. It has really overwhelmed her or him. That's why even people go into drugs, go into gangs or so, just to belong somewhere. So we shouldn't leave this problem to go to that extent. That is why there are professionals out there that you can go for counseling. There are professionals that are called cognitive behavioral therapists. Can someone help me write that? Cognitive behavioral therapists. If you just Google and find information about them, they can identify the root cause of your insecurity and help you, give you step-by-step guides in helping you overcome it. So these will help. These problems, sometimes they look so subtle. We think, we're okay, we don't need professional help. Guess what? You need it. We all need it. And then we have to relearn how to be confident again. If you look back when you were a child, okay, how confident children are. They just go boldly to their parent. Mom, Dad, I want this. And when they think of something, say, Dad, I think this makes no sense. I don't understand it. I can do it. That confident talk. So we all started out confident in childhood. So what happened? Somewhere along the way, we lost it. So we need, confidence can be relearned. We need to relearn how to be confident, because I remember being young, nothing moves you. Someone can even make a small, you are so confident with what you want. And when we become adults, we lose that. What happens? Let me read your comments. Sammy says, one of the distrusts we do to ourselves is to live in denial of the truth about ourselves. And we should tell ourselves the truth by critically analyzing ourselves, review our behavior, and accept structured criticisms. Yes, constructive, yeah. Then June says, many of us are trapped in negative environment where we know we are not appreciated, encouraged, or motivated, but we have no courage to come out. It takes courage. You're right, June. That is a sign of insecurity. Come out. There are many who long you are part of them. Exactly. June, thank you. Hello, Sister Chinwe. Nice to see you here. Sammy says, people who have high level of insecurity should seek cognitive behavioral therapists. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, June. Thank you, Sammy. Okay. Let's move on. Oh my God, only 30 minutes. Okay. We need to relearn. The point I was saying that we need to relearn how to be confident. And I say that this first step, I think, is to learn how to spend time with you. Learn how to spend time with you. I know colleagues who, every lunchtime, they want to sit with someone. Every weekend, okay, are you free? Let's spend the weekend together. Each time, they want to be with someone. I'm just saying, at lunchtime, sometimes I just want to be on my own, just walk around the park, have a break, just be on my own. Other people may think maybe I'm a loner or something, but I don't do all this all the time. It's just that I just need some space to be by myself. And the example I'm giving is to help you understand there's nothing wrong with being alone. Spend time with yourself. If you love yourself, then you should love your company. Yeah. Remember, we say that security is structuring your life around things that cannot be destroyed or taken away. If you're structuring your life around friends, there's a time it will come and they will not be there. Then what will happen? You fall apart. Hello, Florence Kawesa. Thank you for joining us. So, we need to learn how to spend time with ourselves. So when people cannot be on their own for a few days, not even days, but even hours, that there may be a sign of insecurity. I know that some people, are maybe sanguines, they're people, okay? But even that, to that extent, I understand that, but even to that extent, I know people who are very good, who take time to go for retreats on their own, and they come back more refreshed. They've evaluated their lives. They'll spend time to be with themselves, ask themselves questions, put plans in place. So this is something we can do periodically, not all the time. So we should not depend on people to make us happy, to feel accepted, but learn to accept and love ourselves. And then it's key that maybe when you go away and you're by yourself, ask yourself questions, and ask yourself first of not just any other question, but quality questions, and give quality answers, and then take some quality and intentional actions about those answers that you have given. Examples of questions could be, do you really appreciate how you look? How can you overcome the external noise that you are not good enough? Are you willing to step up and work on yourself to be the best you want to be in your skill? This is part of building confidence. How do I feel? How do I deal with fear? That's another question. Because insecurity is also embedded in fear. So how do you deal with fear when fear comes to you like this? Do you face it, or you just run away, or you live in denial? Answer those questions, and then put steps on how you can work through that. How is your environment? Do those around you support you in becoming more confident? Are you willing to change situations that do not meet your standards? That's a good question, because, for example, sometimes, and even as Jonah said, we are trapped. You are in a situation, it doesn't meet your standard, and you're still there. A good example is jobs. You're somewhere, you're just tolerated, not celebrated. Then you don't have time for your family. The pay is rubbish. You are not happy. You wake up each morning and you feel, oh, another day. Have the guts to quit. That's the beginning of confidence right there. When you make a decision, you're not depending on anything else, but what you feel is good for you. That is the beginning of security, actually. Yeah. And it's the beginning of building confidence. Okay. Have the guts to quit those situations. And then lastly, in life we all have sort of invisible lenses like glasses. Some people look at the world through the lenses of their childhood. Some people look at the world through the lenses of their past. Which lenses are you using? That's a good question to always ask yourself, because you actually discover that the lenses I'm wearing are from 1920 and we are now in 2019. Anyway, seeing the world through the lenses of your past will always limit us in life. So we need to get new lenses. New situations require new lenses. Each time you celebrate your birthday, just say, okay, God, I need a new lens now. The world is evolving. Things are no longer the same. Okay. So you will need to be able to see much clearer when you get newer lenses. So I want to conclude. What is security? What is security? John Sembiro, thank you for joining us, my brother. Thank you. So we've been looking at security. We defined it as structuring one's life around that which cannot be destroyed or taken away. So, and I asked you a question, what is the thing that cannot be destroyed or taken away? Please let everyone write that, please. Can everyone write what they think that thing that cannot change, that cannot be taken away, that cannot be destroyed? June gave us an answer that's passion or purpose. Correct. Yes. So there's also another answer to that, which is linked to that, and that is truth. When you structure your life around truth, you have less chances of being insecure in life. What do I mean by truth? Truth is broad. Okay? I'll borrow the words of a great leader, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, who is our teacher. He said that truth and God are one entity. God is truth and the truth is God. God is the foundation of all truth. Those who are Christians, remember in John 14:6, where Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So we know that truth is found in God. So we need to structure our lives around God. Truth must be our only standard. That is when we can be secure in life. So one of those truths is that we are all created with a purpose. So that's why even one of those things that cannot be destroyed is pursuing your purpose and your passion. That is one truth. Then another truth, especially for us who are Christians, is that God made us in our own image. In fact, this is for all every humanity, not about religion. God created us in his own image. That is truth. So if you are created in the image of God, where does insecurity come? I mean, the God of the universe, the God of the galaxies, the planets, the big God, created you in his own image. That alone should boost our confidence, our self-esteem. And he not only created us in his own image, but he lives in us. The kingdom of God is within us. And he demonstrated, this, his love for us by coming down, dwelling amongst us, and giving his life for us. So when we remember God's love for us, that is the only cure for insecurity. Remembering God's love, because that puts you as an important person. God made us so important that he dwells in us. He chose us as his vessels. He didn't choose stones or trees. It's us. So that alone makes you significant in life. That alone makes you important, a very important VIP. So you dust all these insecurities, dust them off. That's not you. It's not part of you. And begin from God's love and build your confidence afresh. I think that's where I'll end. Okay. Yeah. So I put a note here that when we remember God's love and how he proved it by coming down and living in us, giving his life for us, that is enough to boost our self-esteem and realize how important and complete we are. Think about it. The creator of the universe made me important by coming down to dwell within me. This alone is enough to settle any and all insecurities. Okay, I think with those few words we can think about this and realize that actually we can deal with this. Insecurity is not part of us, and enjoy this whole weekend living in confidence, talking with confidence, being assured of our self-esteem, of who we are, that we are very important people. So have a lovely weekend, and my husband and I wish you well. So thank you so much. Sammy, can you help me put a link there about the series of truth? Because someone here may be wanting to know more about truth from Dr. Sandra Delaja. There's a good teaching there about truth. It will help you understand that truth cannot be destroyed. And truth is the only thing where we need to structure our lives. And it will help people to seek those truths and live with them. Thank you. Thank you, June. See you. So hope next podcast will be together again. Yeah, let me know when you're free. Okay, so bye everyone. God bless you.